Beneath the fading sky of Greece, the temple ruins at twilight glow with a gentle light that lingers in the warm air. You feel the hush of ancient stones around you, the cool marble beneath your fingertips, and the soft cicadas beginning their evening song. Something waits here, an echo of stories older than memory, ready to unfold in the stillness of night. Before we begin, find a place where you can rest. Let your body sink into comfort. Tonight, I'll take you on a quiet journey to a place where only peace waits for you. Put on your headphones if you can, and stay with me until the very end, as each word will guide you deeper into the night. If you'd like to share in the comments where you are listening from and what time it is for you right now. It's always comforting to know that across the world, others are drifting into sleep beside you, guided by the same story. The twilight settles softly around you, and the first stars begin to glimmer above the Aegean horizon. The air carries a scent of thyme and olive leaves, warmed all day by the sun, and now releasing their fragrance into the cooling night. You breathe it in, slowly, and with each exhale, you feel your body soften. The sound of cicadas, your gentle companions on this journey, rises and falls like a lullaby. They are steady, familiar, weaving a background rhythm that makes the silence feel alive. Each note seems to draw you further into the embrace of this place. You step lightly between the fallen columns, their pale surfaces glowing faintly in the last streaks of light. The marble is worn smooth by centuries of sun wind and hands that once touched these stones with reverence. You pause, running your fingers along the cool surface. A quiet shiver of awe passes through you. These ruins have watched the world turn for thousands of years, and now in this hour, they welcome you as a guest. As you walk, your steps carry you into a wide clearing where the temple once stood whole. You can almost imagine its roof rising high, its statues gleaming, its altar burning with sacred flame. The air hums with memory, yet instead of feeling heavy, it feels strangely light, as though the past lingers not as a burden, but as a gentle presence. A breeze flows across the stones, brushing your skin with warmth mixed with coolness, the kind of breeze that makes you want to close your eyes, tilt your head back, and just breathe. And as you do, you hear the faint notes of distant village bells marking the hour. Their sound drifts like a thread of gold across the evening. You know this is only the beginning. The ruins hold stories you will discover. The twilight will deepen into night, and stars will reveal wonders yet unseen. But for now, you linger at the threshold, standing between day and night, past and present, silence and song. You breathe once more deeply, allowing the cicada's rhythm to merge with the beating of your heart. Slowly, you step forward toward the inner sanctuary where your journey will truly begin. And with that step, the story continues. You step beyond the threshold you felt beneath your feet a moment ago, and the temple's inner court opens like a quiet breath. The last streaks of color sliding off the sky and pooling between the columns, while the evening steadies into a gentle silver-blue calm. The cicadas rise again, soft, steady, unhurried, as if their song knows this place better than any map, as if every summer has taught them the same lullaby and they carry it faithfully into each night. You pause to listen, because here listening feels like a kind of reverence, a way to greet the stones without words. The ground is a scatter of pale marble chips and warm earth, A soft crunch under your sandals, a texture that slows your pace and invites you to feel each step. You run a hand along the worn base of a column, cool now after the heat of the day, and a fine dust clings to your fingertips, fragrant with the dry sweetness of time carried on the breeze. Far beyond the hill, the sea turns to polished slate, a single path of dimming light unraveling where the sun has slipped away. As you breathe in, there's a faint salt tang. As you breathe out, your shoulders ease and the day loosens its hold. Some temples you remember were built to greet the sun. Many faced east, so morning could enter like a blessing. But twilight has its own ceremony here, a softer rite, a weaving of hush and shimmer that lets everything fall quiet without feeling lost. You let that thought settle, and then you walk slowly across the courtyard toward the fallen architrave where a lintel lies like a resting giant across two broken supports. You imagine its original height, how it must have watched olive leaves dance in the wind, and you imagine the hands that shaped it, generations turning raw stone into order-purpose grace. A small offering niche remains along the inner wall, just a shallow recess now, but you can almost see the flame that would have lived there, low and constant, tended by someone whose feet knew these paths by memory. You picture a lamp wick trimmed with calm attention, a clay bowl of oil lifted by careful fingers. And in that picture, there's a tiny, tender warmth that lingers in your chest. Without naming it, you bow your head a fraction, a greeting to all the quiet work that once made this place breathe. You choose a spot near a knee-high block of carved marble, a surface softened by centuries, and sit. The stone is cool and balancing. You set your palms on it, feeling the slow exchange of temperature, your warmth meeting the earth's patience. The cicadas, your motif, your companions, sound rounder here, softened by the space between columns, their rhythm echoing like a heart heard through linen. Close your eyes for a moment and draw the night into your lungs. A calm inhale, a gentle longer exhale, again and again, until the breath feels braided to the air. A tiny fragment of pottery lies by your ankle. Its curve makes a small crescent in the dust, glazed once in a tone like dried figs. You lift it and find the suggestion of a painted line, a wave perhaps, or an olive branch, just enough to be a whisper from someone whose day ended long ago. You imagine the pothole amphora shape carried by a sailor who had come to offer thanks for safe passage or to ask for it. And you imagine the sailor's hands placing oil at the altar head, bent eyes turned briefly to the sea. That micro-story stirs something gentle, gratitude that travels forward. Gratitude that rests and never goes out of date. A breeze threads the columns again, soft on your face. A shawl of night air, and you feel it lift the small hairs on your arms, not with chill, but with recognition, as if the wind carries a taste of rosemary and wood smoke from a village beyond the ridge. Somewhere below, a dog barks once and then chooses sleep. Farther still, a goat bell answers a single note like a star. You let these sounds nestle beside the cicada's hum, and the layers make the quiet richer, not broken, like gentle ripples widening on a calm bay. You stand and wander to a low wall where wildflowers cling in the cracks, dry stems that have kept their form, seed heads catching starlight. One stem brushes your wrist, and there's that surprising pleasant detail, a ghost of honey in its scent, sweet even after the day is done. You smile at the way small things stay generous. even when no one asks them to be. Beyond the wall, the slope is a quilt of stones and shrubs and the occasional silver-green olive tree. Each leaf seems to flip a coin of light and shadow as the breeze advises it where to turn. At the temple's far corner, a simple carving remains, lines and letters, softened, a name or dedication half remembered by the stone. There's a story that poets once etched their longing into marble near the sea, as if the stone would steady any heart weathered by tides. You trace the faint grooves with a fingertip, not trying to decipher, only to feel the intention that made them. The cicadas grow a shade quieter, or perhaps your ears have learned their pattern, and in that rounding of sound you sense the first stars multiplying overhead. Consider for a moment your own steps from today, how each small decision led you to this gentle hour. You arrived with the last light. You let your breath slow you, let the place greet you, rather than the other way around. You're not a visitor so much as a listener now, and the ruins, noticing this, have turned warmer, the stones holding night like a memory they're happy to share. A pathway of uneven slabs leads you toward what would have been the cella, the inner room, the sanctuary, and though the roof is long gone, the space still knows how to gather itself. You step through, and the air changes. It isn't colder exactly, just steadier, as if the wind holds its breath here out of old habit. Your skin reads that steadiness like a kindness. You stand very still and sense your heart beat slow, feel the rhythm match the cicada's tide, then slip a little beyond it into something even softer. Your attention drops into your feet, to the little muscles that balance you, to your ankles, calves, knees, hips, all finding their own way to rest even as you stand. The night wraps you loosely, no weight, only comfort. You let your jaw soften, the tongue release, and the small muscles around your eyes relax, as if they remember a beach morning from a long ago summer. You take one more gentle breath, and on the exhale, imagine any scattered thoughts falling like petals to the floor. Welcome then, quiet. Along the sanctuary's edge, a shallow groove in the stone hints at an old threshold, a place where thousands of footsteps once slowed in the same way yours just did. In your mind's eye, you see a figure placing a wreath of olive leaves here, another bringing water in a clay cup, a child tracing a spiral with a stick in the dust. These are your second micro-story tonight, a trio of everyday offerings, simple and human, nothing grand, everything enough. You feel a tenderness for them that turns outward and then returns to you, refilling you like a low, clear tide. The cicadas, ever faithful, carry the scene forward. Now their chorus seems to include a soft counterpoint, perhaps a hidden owl, perhaps the faintest echo of wave against rock, traveling uphill. Their song has evolved. What was merely backdrop in the first moments has become guidance. Now, a gentle metronome that keeps you walking at the exact right pace for rest. You follow their lead step by step toward a gap where two columns frame the sky. There, beyond the columns, a brighter star appears, then another, and another, until a veil of constellations unfurls you can nearly touch. The Milky Way seems to lean closer, as if curious about your quiet. In places like this, people used to chart their seasons by that light, timing the harvest, naming the winds. You feel the old practicality folded inside the wonder, and it makes the sky feel even kinder, useful, and beautiful at once. You are not in a hurry. You let the view settle into you the way a lullaby settles into a child's breathing, and you find yourself thinking without words how good it is that night arrives every day, how good that rest is baked into the shape of time. The ruins, the sea, the trees, your own body, they all agree on this. Slowly, you curl your hands at your sides and feel the gentle strength in your fingers return, not effort, readiness to receive. Somewhere behind you at the path's start, a small lantern glows, perhaps left by a caretaker who went on ahead to check the gate, perhaps a neighbor who knows the hill and loves to see it tidy. The lantern flicker draws a delicate thread through the air, a quiet punctuation to the paragraph of dusk. You watch its heartbeat of light without turning fully, just enough to feel its reassurance. It says someone else has walked here tonight, and you are part of a harmless, unhurried sequence of footsteps. As you stand between columns, the breeze brings a different note, an herb garden from the village below, basil and mint, cooling the air in unexpected little bursts. You taste it, a pleasant, surprising freshness that brightens everything by a shade. And with it comes the softest pang of hunger that isn't really hunger at all. More the body remembering warm bread, a drizzle of oil, the comfort of simple food. You promise yourself there will be such a flavor in memory later, nothing you need to seek now, only a sweetness to keep. The night has fully arrived. The temple breathes like a living thing, quiet, measured, content. You are ready to move again, not away but deeper, toward a low arch where the dark looks gentle rather than empty. The cicadas sustain their tender hum, the stars keep their watch. You step forward once, then twice. Your foot crosses the groove in the stone, and you feel a small shift as if the place itself is pleased you've come this far with such softness, such patience. There is more to be found inside this calm, a story you can almost hear under the chorus, a whisper that belongs to the stones and to you. And as you reach the arch hand brushing the smoothest part of the column where every palm has passed, you pause, smiling without meaning to, because something lovely is just beyond waiting with the care of an old friend who always arrives early. You'll find it in the next quiet space, where the night deepens into a tender mystery. And another layer of the temple shows you how to rest even more deeply. You step beneath the low arch, the stone edges softened by centuries of weather, and the air inside feels as though it has been waiting quiet, steady, holding a memory of coolness, even while the night outside is still warm. The cicadas sing on gentler now, as if their voices have slipped into the chamber with you, softened by the walls, echoed like whispers that travel in circles until they calm into stillness. You pause here, breathing slowly, letting your body sense the change. The shift is subtle, but you feel it as though your chest is lighter, your mind clearer, your feet steadier upon the floor. The sanctuary is simple now, its roof long vanished, but the sky itself has taken that role. A canopy of stars where once beams of cedar might have crossed. You tilt your head upward and the Milky Way drapes across the opening like a luminous river. The marble columns reach up into it, their broken tops blending with the constellations. For a moment, it feels as if the heavens and the earth are not separate at all, but joined in this quiet, ancient space. You walk slowly to the center of the chamber. The ground is uneven, patterned with square stones, each one still bearing the chisel marks of hands that shaped them long ago. You run your fingers over a groove and feel how the craft has endured, how the intention of that long ago mason still lives here. You imagine a man pausing, setting down his tool, wiping sweat from his brow beneath the same twilight that now wraps you. His day ended, but his work endures. And in that endurance, there is a sense of comfort, how small acts can ripple into eternity. You lower yourself to sit upon one of the broad slabs. The stone, though firm, carries a cool serenity that travels up into your body like a quiet invitation to let go. You breathe deeply, inhaling the night air heavy with thyme and the faint sweetness of jasmine from the nearby hillside. On the exhale, you feel your shoulders descend, your hands unclench, your thoughts quieten. The cicadas form a background hymn, steady and familiar, and for the first time tonight, you feel as though you are no longer simply visiting this place. You belong to it, and it belongs to you. Along the edge of the chamber lies a broken pedestal. Upon it, faint traces of inscription remain, letters whose meanings are half lost, yet their presence still conveys reverence. You lean closer, brushing your fingers gently across the carved lines. Though you cannot read them, you sense what they once meant: a dedication, a prayer, a moment of trust offered to the gods. And in that moment, you recall how universal such gestures are, that people everywhere across time have looked upward, wondered, and whispered their hopes into the vastness above. Your mind drifts to another place, an American small-town porch in summer, a rocking chair swaying gently, fireflies flickering in the yard. You realize how easily that memory fits here. The soft night air, the insects singing, the stars arriving one by one. Though oceans apart, the feeling is the same: belonging, quiet companionship with the night, and the sense that rest is always near when the air turns gentle. That thought rests warmly in your chest as you exhale again, slower this time, more complete. At the far end of the chamber, a stone stair leads upward to what remains of the terrace. You rise slowly, your steps echoing faintly as you climb. The cicadas grow louder for a moment, perhaps because of the angle of the walls, perhaps because the night wishes to remind you that their song will not falter. You step carefully, hand grazing the worn stone railing until you emerge upon the terrace. And there it is. The sea spread wide beneath the stars, a dark mirror with a silver path cast by the rising moon. The air here is different, open, expansive, with a faint salt mist carried inland. It brushes your face with freshness, clearing away even the faintest residue of the day. The ruins at your back feel steady, ancient, eternal. And before you, the sea feels infinite. You stand between them, rooted and unbound, grounded and limitless. The breeze carries the faint scent of grilled bread from the village below. You imagine families gathering around late tables, children laughing softly, elders speaking in low tones. A curl of smoke rises, vanishing into the night, and you feel connected to them, not by sight, not by words, but by the simple truth that night gathers all lives together under its wing. You are not alone here, and the awareness brings comfort as tangible as the stone beneath your feet. You notice again the cicadas, the motif weaving faithfully through every moment. Here on the terrace, their chorus feels less like a sound outside you and more like a rhythm inside your chest, your breathing, your heartbeat. They are the thread carrying you deeper, and their persistence assures you that the night will not break, that you may rest in its safety. As you linger on the terrace, your eyes adjust further to the starlight. You see the faint outline of another ruin across the hillside, half hidden by olive trees. Perhaps tomorrow you might wander there. Perhaps it holds its own quiet offerings, its own stories waiting in the dust. For now, it is enough simply to know it exists, like a promise the land makes, to keep sharing its secrets at a gentle pace. You turn back toward the sanctuary. The steps wait patiently, guiding you downward once again. The stones feel welcoming beneath your touch, as though they too remember the countless hands that passed here before. You descend slowly, breathing evenly, carrying the vastness of the sky within you as you return to the temple's quiet heart. Something tender waits in the silence here, a moment that feels just beyond reach, like a word on the tip of your tongue. You can almost sense it forming in the air, the next layer of the journey, the deeper wonder that Twilight is preparing to reveal. And so you pause at the foot of the steps, hands resting lightly on the stone, ready to step further into the story. You step once more into the sanctuary's heart, the night air thickened with starlight, and the soft chorus of cicadas that now sound less like insects and more like the very breath of the ruins themselves. The silence between their rhythms deepens, and in that space you feel as though the temple listens, holding the hush like a vessel of water balanced on a steady hand. Your feet follow a worn stone path that curves toward the temple's southern edge. There the columns are fewer, their bases scattered like chess pieces left mid-game. Beyond them, the hillside slopes gently downward toward the village. Olive trees, silvery under moonlight, shimmer as if draped in gossamer cloth. You hear the rustle of their leaves, soft, almost like whispers, folding into the cicada's steady pulse. The motif grows richer, now carrying not only rhythm, but also texture, as if weaving a tapestry between sound and silence. You pause at a fragment of carved relief propped against a wall, its figures weathered but still visible, a horse's flank, a curve of shield, the flowing line of a robe. You lean closer, tracing the outlines with your eyes, letting your imagination complete the picture. You can almost see the procession, men and women carrying offerings, their faces earnest beneath wreaths of laurel. For a moment, they are alive again, moving across the marble, voices rising in chant. Then, as you blink, they return to quiet stone. But the sense of reverence lingers like incense that has soaked into fabric. Breathe with that image. Slow. Inhale, filling the chest. Long. Exhale, letting the shoulders soften. Again, each breath steady, each pause like a footfall on an invisible path. The ruins invite you not to rush, only to follow their cadence, gentle and unhurried. You wander farther to where the southern wall opens onto a view of the valley. The land stretches in folds of shadow, the moonlight laying silver across vineyards and low stone houses. A donkey brays faintly, answered by another across the hill. Their sound is rougher than the cicadas, yet somehow it fits like a deep drum beneath a high flute, grounding the harmony of the night. In the valley, faint lamps glow in windows. You think of families gathered around late suppers, bread torn by hand, wine poured with laughter oil shining on earthenware plates. The thought carries you gently to a memory of a warm kitchen in America, maybe a farmhouse on a quiet autumn evening, cornbread on the table, a kettle sighing on the stove. Different continents, different centuries, yet the comfort feels the same. The motif of belonging stretches easily across oceans, binding night to night, hearth to hearth. You sit on a fallen capital, its circular grooves worn smooth, and let your fingers trace the spirals cut by tools long gone. You marvel at the patience it took stone shaped slowly, deliberately, without haste. That patience settles into you as you sit, making your own breath feel like part of the same craft. The cicadas sing on a chorus of endurance, their steady rhythm a lesson in constancy. A stray cat emerges from the shadow's tail curling high. It pauses to regard you, golden eyes gleaming in the moonlight. Then it pads closer, silent, graceful, and settles near your feet. Its purring joins the cicadas, a lower hum that blends seamlessly. You reach down, brushing its warm fur, and feel a tender gratitude, how even in ruins life continues to find companionship. Somewhere nearby, you notice a faint shimmer, tiny lights hovering above the grasses at the edge of the courtyard. Fireflies drifting lazily, their glow rising and fading in patterns that seem to answer the stars above. You watch them float between the columns as if the temple has lit its lamps again, but in softer, gentler form. Their presence feels like a gift, unexpected, enchanting, fleeting, yet timeless. You lean back, palms against the stone, gazing upward as fireflies flicker and cicadas chant. The moon has risen higher now, casting longer shadows, painting the columns in silver and dark. You think of the generations who once stood here at night, eyes lifted to the same constellations, hearts stirred by the same quiet. The thought fills you with awe, and also with comfort, a reminder that you are part of an endless chain of gazes lifted toward the sky. You draw in another breath, slow, steady, and with it comes the scent of the sea, faint but distinct, riding the breeze uphill. Salt and kelp and the freshness of waves tumbling over stone. You close your eyes, and for a moment you imagine standing at the shore water, tugging at your ankles, sand shifting beneath your toes. The image is so vivid that you feel your body sway as though rocked by the tide. Then you open your eyes again, and the temple remains, yet the sea is still with you, layered gently into the night. The cat stretches and moves away, vanishing into shadow. You rise as well, following the narrow path along the temple's side. Each step is guided by the cicadas, their rhythm aligning perfectly with your pace. You realize now that their song is more than background. It is a thread connecting every moment, a gentle tether keeping you close to the center of calm. Ahead, you see another archway leading toward a grove of olive trees. Beyond it, the path seems to beckon soft earth, silvery leaves, the promise of deeper quiet. You pause at the arch hand resting against its stone and take one last look back at the columns glowing under moonlight. They stand like guardians holding centuries in their silent embrace. The cicadas swell once more as if encouraging you onward. You step beneath the arch, the path unfolding gently before you. The olives whisper in the breeze, their scent rising warm and green. You know that something awaits deeper in the grove, another layer of wonder, another step into the story of night. And so you walk forward slowly, each step a lullaby, each breath a promise of rest, ready to discover what the grove will reveal. The olive grove welcomes you with a hush that feels almost like an embrace. Silver leaves quivering in the moonlight, branches stretching low as if bowing to your arrival. The cicadas accompany you still, yet their song changes here, softened by the dense canopy, echoing in a way that makes each note linger longer, as though the grove itself wants to hold on to their music. You pause beneath the first tree, resting your palm on its rough trunk, the bark warm in places where it caught the day's last light, cool in others where the shadows have kept their secrets. You breathe in and the scent of olives ripening in the night air drifts towards you, green earthy with a faint bitterness that somehow sharpens the calm rather than disturbs it. The smell mingles with thyme and wild sage that grow freely at the grove's edges, a mixture so distinctly Mediterranean, you feel transported not only through space, but through time itself. Each inhale roots you deeper into this place. Each exhale releases any last fragment of the day. A small path winds between the trees, their gnarled roots rising like sculpted waves across the soil. You step carefully, feeling the earth give softly beneath your sandals, the texture shifting from stone to dust to grass. The cicadas hum their tireless rhythm, but here it feels more intimate, more personal, as if their song were composed only for this grove and for you. Ahead, a stone bench rests beneath a wide olive that must be centuries old, its trunk split into spirals, branches stretching outward like open arms. You lower yourself onto the bench, feeling the stone cool through your clothes, grounding you once again. The leaves above filter the moonlight, dappling your hands and moving silver as the branches sway gently. You tilt your head back and watch the patterns shift, light and shadow dancing across your skin, weaving a slow-moving tapestry of night. On the ground near your feet lies a scatter of fallen olives, their skins glossy and dark. You reach down to pick one up, turning it in your palm, feeling its smooth weight. In ancient times, you recall olives were sacred gifts, symbols of peace, wisdom, endurance. A story drifts into your mind of Athena and Poseidon, both offering gifts to the people of Athens. Poseidon, a salt spring. Athena, an olive tree. The people chose the tree, valuing its food, its oil, its wood, its unyielding strength. And so you smile at the thought that peace itself was chosen here, embodied in the olive, its roots deeper than time. You set the olive gently back among its companions and close your eyes for a moment. With your eyelids lowered, the cicada's song feels closer, filling the space inside you rather than around you. You notice your breath again, steady and calm. Inhale, the body lengthens, the chest opens. Exhale, the shoulders soften, the jaw releases. The grove seems to breathe with you, leaves rising on the wind, branches sighing down again in perfect rhythm. A faint rustle catches your ear, soft footsteps on dry leaves. You open your eyes to see a figure at the edge of the grove, moving slowly, carrying something in their hands. It is an elderly villager, their back slightly bent, a small basket balanced at their side. They glance at you with a gentle smile, eyes gleaming like warm lanterns. Without words, they nod and continue on collecting fallen olives, placing them one by one into the basket. You watch them disappear among the trees, the rustle fading until it blends with the cicadas. A fleeting encounter, simple and kind, reminding you that even here, even now, the land sustains life in the most quiet ways. You linger a while longer on the bench, fingers brushing the grooves of the stone, feeling the story of countless nights carved into its surface. Then you rise, following the path deeper where the grove thickens and the moonlight grows softer, filtered into silver mist. The air grows cooler, carrying a freshness that feels like morning, though the night is far from done. Ahead, a small clearing appears ringed by younger olive trees. In its center stands an ancient wellstone piled high, its mouth dark and mysterious. You step closer, hearing the echo of your movements against its hollow throat. You imagine villagers gathering here long ago, lowering buckets by rope, drawing water for their households. Perhaps they shared stories as they waited, laughter rising into the night, the cicadas, their constant companions. You lean over and breathe, and though the well is dry now, it seems to carry the memory of water's still coolness rising faintly from its depths. By the well, a clay shard rests half buried in the soil. You brush it clean, noticing the painted curve of a dolphin upon it. A smile touches your lips. Dolphins, you recall, were messengers of the gods, guardians of sailors, companions of the sea. The shard feels like a secret the earth wanted you to find, a token of protection, a gentle reminder that you are cared for even in silence. You set it back down, returning it to its place, leaving the story whole. The cicadas sing on unwavering, yet their song now feels like a bridge, a thread connecting you not only to the temple ruins above, but to the sea below, to the village lights, to the endless night sky. You realize the motif has grown no longer only the sound of the insects themselves, but a symbol of continuity, endurance, and harmony, tying together every part of the journey. You rise from the clearing, turning toward a narrow path that winds upward once again. Through the olive branches, you glimpse the faint shimmer of the sea moonlight, stretching across it like liquid silver. The path seems to call you back toward that vastness, promising another revelation waiting beyond the grove. So you begin to walk, each step softened by earth, each breath matched to the cicadas' chant, each heartbeat lighter than before. The grove closes behind you, silver leaves whispering farewell, and ahead the hill opens toward another horizon where wonder waits quietly, ready to meet you in the next breath. The path rises gently out of the grove, the olive trees thinning until their silver leaves give way to open sky once more. You pause at the edge where the hill begins its upward curve and the sea stretches out before you like a living mirror, moonlight spilling across it in one long shimmering ribbon. The cicadas follow their song, threading through the silence, steady and unbroken, a reminder that the journey is still guided, still held in safe rhythm. You walk slowly, feeling the incline beneath your feet, the earth crunching softly each step, grounding you even as the night seems to lift you higher. The air carries more salt now, clearer, sharper, brushing against your face with the freshness of waves breaking below. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the scent wash over you. Thyme and sage fading behind the sea, claiming its place as the night's fragrance. When you open your eyes again, the horizon has shifted, stars now stretch further, wider, and the dome of sky feels closer as though bending down to meet you. Halfway up the hill, you come across a fallen column lying like a giant's finger across the path. Moss has grown in its grooves, and small wildflowers have taken root along its edges. You rest your hand upon it, feeling the coolness of stone softened by life returning to it. You imagine how this column once stood tall, supporting a roof that caught the morning sun, casting long shadows across the sanctuary. Now it lies horizontal yet still sacred, its rest just another form of service cradling new growth, offering you a place to pause. You sit for a moment, running your fingers along the shallow carvings still visible, and you marvel at how beauty persists even in fragments. As you breathe, you recall an old tale of ruins and stars. They say that when temples crumble, the gods take residence in the constellations, watching over the stones from above. You lift your gaze, finding Orion, his belt, clear against the velvet sky, and Cassiopeia reclining on her eternal throne. The thought comforts you. These figures above are the guardians of the temple, now their positions eternal, their watch unfailing. You breathe deeper, chest loosening, spine softening against the column. The cicadas hum on as though affirming this truth: nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed into a different kind of presence. You rise again, following the path upward. The slope grows steeper, but your steps are steady, each one carried by the quiet momentum of the night. The sea is a constant companion to your left, its waves rising and falling in rhythm with your breath. Occasionally, a faint glimmer appears on the horizon, a fishing boat's lantern swaying gently, its light like a star adrift on water. You think of the fisherman aboard nets, lowered, heart-tuned to the same night that carries you. Perhaps he hums softly to himself, his song blending with the cicadas in a harmony you cannot hear directly but feel nonetheless. At the hill's crest, the ruins widen into a platform once used for gathering. The stones here are broader, forming a terrace that overlooks both the valley and the sea. You step onto it slowly, as though entering a sacred stage. The breeze lifts your hair, the salt air tangling with the warmth of stone radiating up from the earth. You close your eyes and imagine the voices that once filled this space, choruses reciting hymns, footsteps assembling in reverence, the laughter of children playing along the edges while their elders offered prayers. The memory feels so alive that for a moment you almost expect to hear it echo again. Instead, the cicadas fill the silence. Their song is unwavering, but here it takes on a new shape, less like a background hum, more like a chant, ceremonial and constant, as though the grove and the ruins and the sea have all agreed on the same music. You let yourself sway to it, body loosening, mind settling further. Your breath matches their cadence without effort, each inhale a verse, each exhale a refrain. Along the terrace edge lies another fragment of the past, a carved stone basin half filled with rainwater from recent days. You lean over it, seeing the moon's reflection tremble across its surface. For a moment, the image seems to ripple outward until the whole basin feels like a miniature sea sky above water below your own face, hovering between. You dip your fingertips into it, the water cool and startling, and when you withdraw your hand, droplets glisten against your skin like tiny stars. You smile at the unexpected detail. A simple basin turned into a galaxy for your palm. Nearby, the scent of rosemary rises from a bush growing wild among the stones. You pluck a sprig and lift it to your nose, the fragrance sharp, clean, almost sweet. In ancient times, rosemary was thought to aid memory, to preserve stories across generations. You hold the sprig close, breathing it in deeply, and think of how your own presence here becomes part of this continuum, a small thread woven into the fabric of time. You tuck the sprig into a fold of your clothing, carrying it with you as a token, a reminder that the night itself has offered you a gift. As the breeze shifts, you hear another sound, faintly, carried up the hill, the tinkling of goat bells drifting from the valley below. The bells ring in uneven patterns, small silver notes answering the cicadas' constant hum. Together, they create a melody both spontaneous and eternal, one that feels like the voice of the land itself. You stand very still, letting the sounds soak into you until they feel less like music outside and more like comfort within. The terrace slopes gently toward another set of stairs leading deeper into the ruins. The shadows grow thicker there, but not unfriendly. The cicadas swell again, as if encouraging your steps, promising that the night will remain kind no matter how deep you go. You rest your hand on the railing, feel the grooves carved by centuries of palms, and begin to descend. Each step carries you into softer darkness, cooler air, quieter breath. The temple seems to fold around you, guiding you not just through its stones, but into the very heart of rest. You sense that what lies ahead will not only deepen your journey, but also reveal something unexpected, something tender and timeless, waiting in the quiet. And so you descend, cicadas singing rosemary close to your heart, the sea glimmering faintly beyond, ready for the next discovery hidden within the night. The stone steps guide you downward, each one shallow and broad, as though meant for a slow procession rather than hurried feet. You let your hand slide along the railing, its surface worn smooth by centuries of touch. The cicadas follow you, their song softened by the enclosing walls, no longer the wide open chorus of hillside air, but a gentler, rounder hum, as if the earth itself were humming to keep you steady. You breathe in rhythm with them, exhaling longer than you inhale, letting the body release tension with each breath. The stairwell opens into a wide inner court. The moonlight falls here in broken shafts, streaming between collapsed beams and columns that lie like sleeping giants across the floor. The air is cooler, thicker, with earth and stone touched faintly by the scent of wild mint that has found its way into the cracks. You pause at the threshold, letting your eyes adjust the shadows, forming shapes that become familiar rather than strange. You step into the court, feeling your sandals brush against gravel and moss. In the center, a shallow pool has gathered, where rainwater lingers its surface, rippling faintly with the night breeze. Stars scatter across it in delicate reflections, tiny doubles of the constellations above. You crouch near the pool, dipping your fingers lightly into the water. It is cool, refreshing, a reminder of the day's warmth, now fully surrendered to the night. Droplets cling to your skin, catching the light like liquid silver. Around the edges of the court, remnants of carved friezes lean against the walls. One shows the faint outline of a woman bearing a jug. Another, the curve of a lyre in a musician's hands. You imagine this place as it once was, filled with voices. Music drifting across the stones, footsteps circling the pool as rituals unfolded. You picture flickering torches, incense burning, the steady hum of chant sounds that merge with the cicadas' eternal rhythm, so that even now you can almost hear them layered over the night. A faint rustle catches your ear. You turn and see a small owl perched on a broken column, its feathers mottled gray and white. Its head tilts, eyes gleaming golden in the moonlight. In Greek lore, the owl was sacred to Athena, symbol of wisdom, guardian of the night. The bird blinks slowly, and you feel as though it recognizes you not as an intruder, but as another traveler of the dark. You incline your head slightly, a gesture of respect, and the owl answers with a soft hoot before taking flight wings, silent, gliding into the shadows. Its presence leaves you with a trace of reverence, a reminder that wisdom can be found in silence as much as in words. You wander toward a corner where ivy climbs the stones, the leaves glossy under moonlight. A cluster of figs ripens nearby, their scent faintly sweet carried on the breeze. You reach for one, brushing the fruit with your fingertips, and imagine the taste, soft, honeyed grounding. You think of how figs, like olives, were treasures of this land sustenance for body and spirit alike. The motif of continuity hums within you again. The same foods, the same trees, the same stars watched by countless generations before you. At the far wall, you discover a small doorway leading into another chamber. Its frame leans cracked, but standing, and the darkness beyond looks inviting, not forbidding. You step closer, running your hand along the lintel. The stone is cool, vibrating faintly with the cicada's song, as though even the walls have absorbed their steady rhythm. You smile at the thought, the ruins themselves singing softly, endlessly, in tune with the night. Before you pass through, you take another long breath. Inhale the scent of mint and fig, stone, and sea air mixing together. Exhale the release of all weight you no longer need to carry. You feel lighter, steadier, more attuned to the gentle pace of the night. As you step beneath the doorway, you glance back at the court one last time. The pool reflects the stars. The ivy shimmers. The owl's absence still feels like presence. It is a place you could linger forever, yet you sense the journey wants you to keep moving toward deeper quiet, toward another layer of wonder hidden in the temple's embrace. The cicadas swell gently like a chorus, guiding you onward. You take your first step into the chamber, beyond the cool air brushing your skin, carrying with it the promise of discovery. Something waits in the shadows, something not loud, not startling, but deeply beautiful in its stillness. And with that step, you feel the story opening wider, the night deepening into a softness you cannot yet name, but soon will. You step into the chamber beyond the threshold, closing gently behind you like the turning of a page. The air inside is cooler, still layered with the scent of stone that has held centuries of night. The cicadas follow faithfully, their song muted, now softened into a low hum that feels less like sound and more like presence, as though they have slipped beneath your skin and become the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You pause, letting the stillness fold around you. A hush has gathered here, not empty, but alive, waiting for you to listen. The chamber opens into a circular room, its walls crumbled at the edges, but its shape unmistakable. Once this may have been the Adyton, the inner sanctum, a place only a few could enter. Tonight it is only you and the night. The moonlight filters through a gap above, pouring like silver dust onto the floor in a single beam. You step into it slowly, feeling the cool glow wash over your shoulders, your arms the crown of your head. For a moment, you imagine the light itself is a garment draped softly around you, tailored by the sky. At the center of the floor lies a flat slab darker than the rest, its surface polished smooth. You lower yourself to sit upon it, the stone steady beneath you. You close your eyes, listening. The cicadas hum on, blending with something subtler, now a faint rush of wind through cracks above the quietest drip of water seeping somewhere unseen. Together, they form a music that is both inside and outside you. Your breath joins it. Inhale, exhale, and soon the boundary between yourself and the chamber feels thinner, more permeable, as though you are not only in this place, but part of it. A memory stirs in the air. You imagine a priestess once standing where you now sit, her voice lifted in chant smoke rising from burning herbs, perhaps bay leaves or frankincense, their fragrance curling toward the ceiling, carrying petitions to the gods. You picture the firelight dancing across the walls, faces turned upward, listening for answers in the rustle of leaves or the flight of birds. The vision comes and goes like a dream, leaving behind a trace of reverence, a recognition that places can hold memory even when words are lost. Your hand brushes against the stone beside you and finds something unexpected, a carved groove, shallow but deliberate, spiraling inward. You trace it with your fingertip, following its curl until it ends in a small circle at the center. The design feels ancient, primal, almost like a fingerprint of the temple itself. You breathe with it, circling inward and outward like the rhythm of lungs filling and emptying. The motif of continuity deepens, the cicadas singing the spiral, turning your breath rising and falling, all part of the same eternal pattern. Above you, the gap in the roof widens as a cloud drifts aside and more stars spill into view. You tilt your head back, eyes widening to drink them in. For the first time tonight, you see the Pleiades, a cluster of 7 faint stars, delicate as pearls. In Greek lore, they were sisters, pursued across the sky, transformed into light so they could never be caught. You whisper their story quietly into the chamber, and the sound of your own voice feels softer, almost sacred. The stars shimmer as though in reply. The cicadas swell again, but their chorus has changed. No longer only background, their song now feels like a lullaby composed just for this moment, each note carrying you deeper into the night's embrace. You rest your palms on your knees, close your eyes again, and let the hum surround you. For a moment, you lose the sense of where your body ends and the air begins. You are weightless, timeless, like a stone suspended in water, like a star resting in its constellation. A thought surfaces gently unbidden. How many lives have looked upward from this same earth? How many eyes, centuries apart, have watched the same stars, listened to the same cicadas, felt the same night wind on their faces? The idea does not feel heavy. It feels comforting, like being part of a great family whose gathering stretches endlessly across time. You smile and your chest loosens even more. When you open your eyes again, you notice something small near the edge of the chamber floor, a fragment of pottery half buried in dust. You reach for it, brushing it clean, and find the painted figure of a dolphin once again leaping across the shard. The second time you've seen it tonight, as if the sea keeps sending reminders that it is never far away. You cradle the shard for a moment, then place it back gently as though returning it to the earth is itself a kind of offering. The cicadas hum on steady and sure. Their song feels like it has carried you here for a reason, guiding you step by step until this chamber could open its heart to you. You exhale deeply, your whole body softening with the release. It feels as though the ruins themselves have spoken not in words, but in the language of rhythm, silence, and stars. You linger in the center of the slab, warmed by the moonlight until your breath slows into near stillness. The chamber seems to breathe with you, the walls pulsing faintly with quiet energy. And then you realize the wonder you sought is not only in the ruins or the stars or the myths. It is in this simple act of being here, of listening, of letting the night carry you. The motif swells one more time. The cicadas louder, the stars brighter, the spiral beneath your hand more alive. You feel yourself at the very heart of the story, balanced between ancient stones and infinite sky. And just as you think it could not grow more beautiful, the wind shifts, carrying with it the faint, sweet sound of a flute from the valley below. A shepherd perhaps playing for himself under the same stars. The music drifts upward, weaving into the cicadas, into your breath, into the ruins themselves. A harmony of worlds past and present, earth and sky, human and the divine, gathered in one fragile, luminous moment. You close your eyes once more, heart full, knowing you will carry this moment long after the night fades. And when you open them again, the chamber seems to beckon you onward, deeper still, toward the next hidden wonder waiting in the temple's embrace. The chamber narrows into a passageway, its walls close on either side, guiding you forward like gentle hands. The cicadas follow, but here their chorus softens into something almost subterranean, as if their rhythm has sunk into the stone itself. You move slowly, your fingertips grazing the walls, cool slightly, damp, alive with the memory of rain that once seeped through the cracks. Each step feels like a heartbeat, each breath a continuation of the spiral you traced earlier. The passage opens onto another court, smaller and more enclosed than the ones before. Here, the roof is almost entirely gone, leaving the stars free to pour their light directly onto the floor. You step into the space and feel as though you have entered an open vessel, a bowl carved from stone and filled with the night sky. The air holds the faint sweetness of jasmine carried from the hillside, mingled with the salt of the sea. The breeze stirs the ruins gently as if turning a page. In the center of the court stands a single column, taller than the others that surround it. Its base is cracked, its capital worn, yet it remains upright, a sentinel of endurance. You walk toward it slowly, the cicadas steady, your heartbeat steady, the stars above unblinking. When you reach it, you place your palm against its surface. The stone is cool, but beneath the coolness, there is a sense of warmth, not physical, but something deeper, as though the column itself remembers every hand that ever touched it. You rest your forehead gently against it, and in that stillness, you feel connected to all those who came before you. You think of a woman centuries ago, perhaps a mother, pressing her palm here to pray for her child's safe return from the sea. You imagine a sailor sunburned and weary, giving thanks for surviving a storm. You imagine a young poet tracing verses in the dust while leaning against the stone, hoping the gods might hear. Their lives touch yours across time, bound by the simple act of standing here breathing, listening to the same night. The cicadas hum on, and their song becomes the bridge between you. You lower yourself to sit at the column's base, leaning against it for support. From this angle, the stars appear framed by the broken walls, each constellation a piece of an ancient mosaic. You find Orion again, the hunter, frozen in his eternal stride. You find the curve of the Great Bear pointing always toward the north. And above them all, a streak of light, a meteor, crosses the sky, swift and silent, vanishing as quickly as it came. You smile at the gift, fleeting yet unforgettable. As you breathe, your mind drifts to an American memory. Once more, lying in a summer field, perhaps in the Midwest. Fireflies sparking above tall grass, the distant sound of a train echoing through the night. You realize how easily the memories merge: fireflies and meteors, cicadas and crickets, ruins and fields. Different forms of the same wonder. The world has many voices, but all sing the same lullaby when the night is kind. The column beside you hums faintly under your hand, or perhaps it is only the echo of your own pulse. Either way, it feels like communion, like a conversation without words. You whisper a quiet thought, gratitude simple and unadorned, and the wind stirs as if to carry it away. The jasmine scent returns stronger for a moment, then softens again, blending into the rhythm of the night. At the edge of the court, a small doorway leads outward, framed by two broken stones. Beyond it, you glimpse the glimmer of the sea, silver and calm. You rise slowly, brushing the dust from your hands, and walk toward it. The cicadas swell again, steady and guiding their chorus, weaving you forward. As you step through the doorway, the air shifts open, expansive, filled with salt and moonlight. The sea spreads wide before you, waves whispering against unseen shores below. You stand at the edge of the ruins, the temple behind you, the horizon before you. The stars seem closer than ever, their reflections trembling faintly on the water surface. The cicadas grow quieter here, their voices mixing with the hush of the sea. Two rhythms meet, one from land, one from water, and you stand in the center, held between them. For a moment, the world feels whole, seamless, infinite. You breathe deeply, letting the air fill you with salt, thyme, jasmine, and stone. You exhale slowly, releasing the last fragments of the day. The ruins stand steady behind you, the sea stretches endless before you, and the night holds you gently in its palm. And then you notice a faint light across the water, a lantern on a boat swaying gently like a star that has come down to rest on the sea. Its glow flickers, then steadies as if inviting you to follow its story. You take one more breath, the cicadas humming faintly in your ears, and step closer to the edge. The night waits patiently, ready to reveal its next wonder. The sea opens before you like a living mirror, stretching endlessly into the night. Moonlight lays its ribbon across the water, shimmering as the waves breathe in and out. You step closer to the edge, your sandals brushing loose stones, and pause to let the view settle fully into you. The cicadas hum behind a constant thread, but here their song folds gently into the hush of the sea, as if land and water have agreed to share the same rhythm. You close your eyes, breathing it in, And when you exhale, you feel your chest widen, your shoulders soften, your whole body loosen into quiet belonging. The lantern on the fishing boat still glimmers far out on the waves. It sways gently, rising and dipping with the tide like a star that has chosen to rest closer to Earth tonight. You imagine the fishermen aboard Hands, weathered by salt eyes, softened by years of watching horizons, heart steady with patience. Perhaps he hums to himself, perhaps he listens to the water, perhaps he simply lets the silence be enough. His lantern's glow becomes a point of connection, a reminder that even in the vastness of night, you are never truly alone. A breeze curls up from the shore carrying the scent of kelp and sea foam. It mingles with the thyme that still lingers on your skin from the grove, creating a fragrance both sharp and soothing, ancient and immediate. You breathe it in slowly, then let it out even more slowly, each breath drawing you deeper into calm. The cicadas' faithful companions sing on, but their chorus is softer now, more like a heartbeat remembered than a sound heard. You lower yourself onto a wide stone at the cliff's edge, its surface warmed faintly from the day, yet cooled by the night breeze. As you sit, your gaze lifts upward. The sky has ripened into brilliance, the Milky Way arcs high, dense with light, a river of stars flowing from horizon to horizon. You lean back, resting your palms against the stone and let your eyes drift along its span. For a moment, the ruins, the sea, the stars, and your breath all feel woven together, threads of a single fabric, seamless and strong. In this stillness, memory drifts into you. You recall nights in America when the world felt just as wide, perhaps lying on a blanket in a quiet field, watching fireflies spark in the tall grass, or sitting on a wooden porch in summer, the creak of a rocking chair beneath you, the smell of coffee cooling on a table nearby. Different places, different times, but the feeling is the same. Night as a companion night, as a gentle teacher of patience and wonder. You smile at how the heart recognizes itself no matter the setting. A sound rises from below, gentle, rhythmic, steady. Waves striking the rocks, retreating, striking again. You close your eyes and listen, letting the ocean's pulse fold into your breath. Inhale with the wave's arrival, exhale with its retreat. Slowly, steadily, your body begins to sway ever so slightly, rocked by a tide you do not resist. The cicadas blend into it, their hum like a string stretched between water and stone, keeping everything in tune. When you open your eyes again, you notice something unexpected: phosphorescence glimmering faintly in the waves below. Each crest glows pale green for an instant before fading back into darkness. It is as if the sea itself has learned from the stars and borrowed their light. You watch the glow bloom and vanish until the water seems alive with breath and pulse. Awe rises in you, not sharp, but soft, like warmth, spreading outward from the chest. You lean forward slightly, whispering a thank you into the night, and the glow answers with another wave, brighter this time, as though acknowledging your gratitude. The ruins behind you stand in silhouette, their broken columns sharp against the starlit sky. You realize how little it matters whether they are whole or broken. What endures is the way they keep watch, the way they frame the night with quiet dignity. You think of the fisherman's lantern, the phosphorescent waves, the cicada's song, all small flames of continuity, steady lights against the vast dark. And suddenly you understand the ruins are not remnants of what has been lost, but reminders of what continues. You draw your knees up, resting your chin lightly against them, and let yourself simply be. No task, no destination, only presence. The motif of cicadas hums within you now, inseparable from your own breath, your own pulse. The night holds you gently as though cupping you in a vast invisible hand. Another meteor crosses the sky brighter than before, leaving a trail that lingers. You follow it with your eyes until it fades, then remain with the afterglow, the memory of movement. You wonder who else across oceans, across continents, saw that same streak just now. Perhaps someone in a farmhouse field, perhaps someone in a city rooftop garden, perhaps a sailor far out on another sea. The thought brings a tender sense of belonging, that the world is vast, yet stitched together by shared moments of wonder. The sea hushes and swells. The stars shimmer and fade. The cicadas sing and pause. All of it flows together, weaving you deeper into rest. Your body is loose, your breath is soft, your mind is open. You feel as though you are dissolving gently into the night, becoming part of its rhythm, its song, its silence. And just as your eyes begin to grow heavy, you notice something at the far edge of the ruins. A faint glow, not of lantern or star, but of moonlight caught in an archway you have not yet explored. It beckons softly, not urgently, as though offering you another layer of wonder if you wish to step closer. You rise slowly, brushing your hands against the stone, and begin to move toward it. The cicadas lift their chorus once more, guiding your steps with their familiar hum. The sea hushes behind you, the stars keep watch above, and the arch waits ahead, a doorway into deeper quiet. And as you step toward it, you know the journey is still unfolding, gently, endlessly, carrying you deeper into awe. The arch glows faintly ahead, bathed in moonlight that filters through from beyond. You approach slowly, each step cushioned by dust and stone, each pause accompanied by the steady chorus of cicadas. Their voices feel fuller now, as though they have drawn closer in spirit, becoming not just sound, but companionship. You reach the archway and rest your hand upon its side. The stone is cool, carrying the night's patience, and the moonlight spilling across it seems almost liquid, pouring downward in a pale silver stream. Stepping through, you find yourself in a small enclosed court, more intimate than any place you've wandered yet. The walls here rise higher, protecting the space from wind, so that the air inside feels softer, sheltered. The stars are framed above like jewels set into a crown of stone. In the center of the court, a single altar remains low and square, worn smooth at its edges. You walk toward it quietly, the sound of your footsteps hushed, as though the chamber itself invites silence. You lower yourself onto the altar's edge, sitting with your hands resting lightly at your sides. The stone beneath you is cool but steady, supporting you as though it were carved for this exact moment. You close your eyes and the night gathers around you. The cicadas hum on their rhythm, steady, layered with the soft hiss of the sea, carried faintly through the walls. Your breath matches them without effort, each inhale deepening, each exhale softening. For a moment, you imagine what this altar once held. Perhaps bowls of oil flickering with flame, the air sweetened by herbs. Perhaps wreaths of olive branches laid in offering, each leaf shimmering in torchlight. Perhaps only the simple weight of human hands pressing down in prayer, leaving their warmth on the stone. Whatever it once carried it, now carries you, and the thought brings with it a wave of gratitude so quiet, so steady, it feels like another layer of air in the chamber. As you rest there, you notice something subtle. The silence between the cicadas' notes has grown deeper, more profound. It is not emptiness but fullness, like the pause at the end of a long embrace, the hush before sleep takes hold. You lean into it, feeling how the body responds. Your shoulders drop further, your jaw unclenches, your chest loosens. The altar supports you, the walls protect you, the night welcomes you. Your eyes drift open again, and above the chamber's crown of stone, the moon has risen higher. It looks down like a gentle lantern, its light falling directly into the space, illuminating the altar, your hands, your breath. You lift your palm into the beam and see the light dance across your skin, silver and soft. For a moment, it feels as though the moon itself has reached down to bless you, not with grandeur, but with quiet recognition. You are here. You are part of this night. You are enough. Something stirs at the far corner of the chamber. You turn your head slowly and see a patch of ivy climbing the wall, its leaves quivering in the breeze. But then you notice a faint glow nestled among the leaves. Fireflies again, just a handful, drifting lazily through the ivy, their light rising and fading like tiny heartbeats. They hover for a while, then drift into the open air, joining the moonlight, the stars, the cicadas. Their glow feels like a gentle affirmation, a reminder that wonder appears even in the smallest corners of the night. You smile softly and return your gaze to the sky. Another meteor arcs across slower this time, its trail glowing longer, as if reluctant to fade. You follow it with your eyes, and as it dissolves, you feel a sense of connection that spans beyond the ruins, beyond the sea. Someone else somewhere else may have seen it too. Perhaps a traveler, perhaps a child, perhaps someone listening to the night with the same longing for peace. The thought brings you warmth, belonging, and the quiet joy of shared wonder. The cicadas swell again, filling the chamber, their song rising to meet the silence between notes. It feels like a dialogue now between sound and stillness, presence and absence, you and the night. You close your eyes once more, letting the chorus fill you until it feels like your breath, your pulse, your thoughts are all woven into the same endless song. And in that moment, you realize this is the soft climax of your journey. Not a discovery written in stone, not a relic hidden in earth, but this sitting quietly in the ruins under the moon with cicadas, fireflies, and stars as your companions. The wonder is not in what you find, but in how completely you allow yourself to belong here. You breathe once more, long and steady, and when you open your eyes, the altar feels warmer beneath you, as though it has accepted your presence. You rise slowly, brushing your hand along its surface in farewell. The chamber does not feel empty as you leave it. It feels full, carrying your breath into its memory, as it has carried so many before. You step back through the arch, the cicadas lifting their voices once more, as if guiding you onward. Ahead, another path winds gently upward, promising an even deeper quiet, an even greater stillness waiting to be discovered. And so you walk toward it, carried forward, not by urgency, but by ease, the ruins and the night unfolding their secrets one by one as gently as waves along the shore. The path rises slowly after the moonlit court, curling upward along the slope of the ruins. The air feels changed now, lighter, as though the chamber you just left has lifted some invisible weight from you. The cicadas follow their hum softer, more spacious, stretching into the night air like threads of silk. You walk slowly, the earth beneath your feet, firm but forgiving each step, cushioned by dusk grass and fragments of stone warmed by centuries of sun. Ahead, the path widens to a terrace that overlooks the sea once more. You pause as you step into it, for the view takes your breath in a way that is not startling but profoundly gentle. The sea has darkened into deep indigo, vast and endless, but its surface is alive with shimmer. Phosphorescence glows faintly at the water's edge, answering the stars above. The sky itself feels closer, here arcing low over the ruins, heavy with constellations. You lift your gaze, and for the first time tonight, the stars feel not like distant lanterns, but like companions leaning down to keep watch. You lower yourself onto a block of stone at the terrace's edge. It fits your body as though carved for sitting steady beneath you, its coolness flowing through your skin like water. You rest your palms flat upon it and close your eyes. The cicadas hum on, steady and faithful, but here their chorus merges with something deeper, the hush of waves below, the sigh of leaves in the olive grove behind the slow rhythm of your own breath. All of it blends into one continuous song. As you sit there, a memory surfaces, an unexpected one, soft and familiar. You think of sitting on a small town porch in America, perhaps in late summer, the boards warm beneath your bare feet, a rocking chair creaking beside you, the scent of lemonade and cut grass drifting in the twilight. Fireflies flicker in the yard, and somewhere down the street, the faint sound of laughter carries on the air. You remember how safe that moment felt, how time seemed to pause, how your heart seemed to rest without effort. That same feeling flows through you now across oceans and centuries, proving that peace is not bound to place, but carried in spirit. You open your eyes again, and the ruins echo that truth back to you. The columns rise around you like guardians, their broken silhouettes proud against the starlit sky. They do not mourn their incompleteness. Instead, they stand with quiet dignity, teaching you that even fragments can hold beauty, even ruins can hold peace. You lean back slightly, your chest loosening, and feel your body understand this lesson without words. The cicadas swell for a moment, then quiet, leaving space for the sea's voice to rise. A single wave crashes faintly below its echo, carrying upward like a whisper of eternity. You let the sound wash through you as though the ocean itself is reminding you how vast, how steady, how timeless rest can be. You breathe in slowly, salt and time mingling on the air, and when you exhale, it feels like you are exhaling centuries' worries and thoughts you no longer need to carry. At the far end of the terrace, you notice a small column still upright, its capital tilted but holding strong. You walk toward it, the cicadas guiding you with their hum. Resting your palm upon it, you feel again the continuity, the hands before yours, the prayers before yours, the breaths before yours. You close your eyes, forehead resting lightly on the stone, and whisper a quiet thank you. The word dissolves into the night, and in its place rises a warmth that spreads gently outward from your chest, as though the ruins themselves have answered in silence. You step back, and as you do, something shifts inside. A softness, an emotional connection, deeper than any sight or sound. You realize you are not only witnessing this place, you are part of it. Your breath has joined the cicadas, your presence has joined the ruins, your gratitude has joined the sea. For this moment, there is no separation between you and the night. There is only belonging. The moon high now shines fully upon the terrace, bathing the stones in silver light. It touches the column, the walls, the sea, and finally you. You lift your hand and let the light fall across it, as if the sky itself has placed something luminous in your palm. You close your fingers, gently holding the light for just a moment before letting it slip away again. The gesture feels like a promise you will carry this peace with you, even when the ruins are far behind. The cicadas rise again, their chorus swelling to remind you the night continues, the journey continues. You turn slowly from the terrace, walking back toward the inner paths of the ruins. The air feels even calmer now, as though every breath leads you deeper into rest. Ahead, another archway waits, this one darker, quieter, leading not to wonder above, but to the deeper embrace of silence below. You step toward it without hesitation, trusting that what lies within will be softer, still carrying you further into the night's serenity. And as you pass beneath the arch, you feel the ruins fold around you like a blanket, holding you with the same gentleness that the sea and stars have shown. The cicadas sing on, guiding you into the next breath, the next step, the next quiet discovery waiting in the dark. The archway draws you inward, and as you pass beneath it, the night folds into deeper quiet. The air here is stiller, almost dreamlike, carrying a coolness that softens your skin and steadies your heartbeat. The cicadas remain faithful as ever, but their song has grown hushed, as if they too know this is the time for deeper rest. Their rhythm is no longer simply sound outside you. It is your own rhythm now, steady as breath, unbroken as sleep. The chamber beyond is smaller, darker, enclosed by walls whose stones lean inward slightly, like companions drawing close to shelter you. A single shaft of moonlight slips through a crack above, casting a pale beam that rests upon the floor. Dust drifts lazily within it, glowing like tiny stars. You lower yourself gently onto a stone ledge and lean back against the wall. The stone is cool, supportive, and as your shoulders sink into it, you feel your body giving itself permission to release. You close your eyes, and at once the sounds gather into a symphony of calm. The cicadas hum softly, the sea whispers faintly through the cracks, the leaves of the olive grove sigh from afar. Together they form a lullaby that does not demand attention but enfolds you quietly. Your breath slows to match it. Inhale full, effortless. Exhale long, releasing. You notice the weight in your legs, ease the muscles in your arms, loosen the jaw, soften. You are here, and you are safe. A story drifts into your mind, light as a feather woven from the place itself. They say that in ancient Greece, temples were built not only for the gods, but for harmony between earth and sky. The columns reached upward like prayers, while their bases sank deep into the ground like roots. Each structure was a bridge uniting what is above and what is below. You smile softly, realizing that you too are such a bridge tonight, your body grounded upon stone, your thoughts reaching toward the stars, your breath joining them together in quiet balance. You let that thought dissolve as drowsiness drapes over you. The cicadas motif becomes a lull, steady and low, weaving through your chest until it feels like part of your heartbeat. Time seems to blur. Were you sitting here for moments or centuries? It does not matter. Night does not count. Time in minutes, it measures only in softness, in rest, in the gentle rise and fall of breath. You open your eyes again slowly. The chamber glows with silver light, softer now, as though the moon itself has dimmed for your comfort. The beam upon the floor seems to shimmer faintly, as if the dust within it were tiny embers drifting upward instead of down. The sight feels magical, but not in a loud way, only tender, reassuring, like the warm hand of an old friend. You lower your gaze to your own hands resting upon your knees. They look relaxed, at ease, the tension gone. You flex your fingers gently, and it feels as though the moonlight, the cicadas, the stones themselves have all flowed into you, filling you with their calm. You exhale softly, almost a sigh, and let your eyelids drift closed once more. Somewhere in the distance, a goat bell tinkles faintly, its note drifting up like a lull in a song. The sound is small, but its sweetness makes you smile, carrying a trace of life beyond the ruins, beyond the night. It joins the cicadas, it joins the sea, it joins your breath. All things weaving together, nothing separate, nothing hurried. In your half-dreaming state, the ruins around you feel as though they shift slightly. The columns no longer broken, but whole again, glowing faintly with firelight. You glimpse figures moving slowly, draped in linen, their voices low and melodic. They walk past you without noticing, as if you are both within and beyond their time. It is not startling, it is gentle, like slipping into a story told by the stones themselves. When you blink again, the vision fades, and the chamber returns to its quiet silver glow. But the sense of connection lingers, warming your chest, soothing your mind. The cicadas soften once more, their chorus thinning into something even gentler, like a single thread humming in the dark. You lean back against the wall, let your head rest, and allow your breath to carry you deeper still. You imagine yourself as part of the ruins now, stone steady, moonlit, timeless. And in that image there is profound comfort, no urgency, no task, only stillness. At the edge of your hearing, you sense another passage leading outward. The air there carries a faint drift of rosemary and jasmine, promising even gentler quiet ahead. You smile softly, eyes heavy, body loose, heart steady. You know the night will continue to guide you, step by step, deeper into rest. And so, with one last breath, slow, full releasing, you rise again. The ruins seem to open their arms for you, inviting you onward, promising that the next chamber will be softer still, carrying you closer to sleep itself. The passage welcomes you with shadows soft enough to feel like velvet. You move slowly, your fingers brushing the walls as if tracing their quiet pulse. The air is cooler here, infused with the faintest hint of rosemary and mint carried from the hillside. The cicadas remain their song now, so hushed, it feels more like the low murmur of breath in a dream, steady, constant, blending seamlessly with your own rhythm. The corridor widens, and soon you step into an open court where the ruins dissolve into something gentler, less defined. Stones seem softened, blurred by moonlight, as if they are becoming part of the dream rather than history. You pause, taking in the sight. The columns, once sharp, are now hazy outlines glowing faintly like lanterns beneath the stars. They look less like fragments of the past and more like symbols of calm pillars of silence, guardians of rest. You lower yourself onto a wide block of marble that rests along the court's edge. The surface is smooth beneath you, cool yet inviting. You lean back, eyes tilted toward the heavens. The sky is astonishing in its clarity, stars strewn in impossible abundance. You find the constellations again, the hunter, the bear, the seven sisters, and this time they appear brighter, sharper, as though they've stepped closer to meet you. For a long moment, you let your eyes wander among them until they blur, softly drifting into the edges of dream. The cicadas hum on their motif, gentler now, no longer an external song, but the background of your very being. Their rhythm steadies your breath, steadies your heart, as if reminding you that all of nature, all of history, all of the night is aligned in harmony. You close your eyes, and their chorus carries you inward. In the darkness behind your eyelids, you see images unfold like slow ripples. Olive trees shimmering under starlight, a fishing boat lantern rocking across silver waves. The owl from earlier wings stretched wide, gliding silently across the night. Fireflies weaving patterns above ivy leaves. These images drift one into another, without edges, without borders. They are not memories of the night, but the night itself flowing inside you. Your body relaxes further. Legs heavy, arms loose, breath long and even. Each exhale feels like a soft release into the stone beneath you. You imagine yourself dissolving into the marble block, becoming part of it, sharing its patience, its timelessness. The ruins no longer feel separate from you. They feel like home. A faint story lingers at the edges of your thoughts, the idea that dreams themselves were once considered messages from the divine, that to sleep within sacred walls was to open the heart to wisdom, to healing, to gentle guidance. You smile faintly at the thought, realizing that tonight you too are part of that tradition. You are a dreamer resting among ancient stones, your breath blending with their silence, your heart open to their calm. The sea's whisper rises faintly from below, a reminder of infinity. You hear its hush, layered beneath the cicada's song, like two lullabies woven together. The sound swells and falls, until you feel yourself swaying with it, body cradled in rhythm. Your mind floats lightly, free of weight, free of thought. You open your eyes once more, and the ruins have grown even softer. They no longer look like broken columns or scattered stones, but like outlines of light, suggestions of form, suggestions of memory. The moon shines full above, and for a moment, it seems as though the temple has been restored, not in stone, but in radiance. You see it whole, glowing with silver beams, its columns tall and strong, its altar burning with gentle flame. Figures move silently across the court faces, serene hands lifted in offering. You watch without strain, knowing it is both vision and dream, and you feel no need to hold it, only to rest in its presence. The cicadas hum, the sea whispers, the stars glow, the ruins breathe. All together they form a single endless lullaby. You feel your body slipping into that lull, your thoughts quieting to whispers, your awareness softening into calm. Somewhere at the edge of the court, another path glimmers faintly with moonlight. It seems to beckon not urgently, not with demand, but with a soft promise that even deeper quiet waits ahead, even gentler peace. You rise slowly, body light, as though the stones themselves carry you. With one last look at the glowing ruins, you step toward the path. The cicadas swell faintly, then soften again, guiding you onward into the embrace of night. And as you pass into shadow, you know you are crossing not just through ruins, but into dream itself, where the journey will continue in even greater stillness. The moonlit path narrows, guiding you deeper into shadow. Yet the shadow does not feel empty. It feels gentle, like a quilt drawn lightly across your shoulders. Each step is unhurried, each breath drawn in time with the cicada's soft, steady hum. Their song is faint now, but it is enough, like a heartbeat in the background, reminding you that you are safe, that you are being carried by the rhythm of the night itself. The passageway curves downward into a hollow space, and you enter what feels like the very heart of the ruins. The air is cooler here, hushed, as though sound itself has slowed. You pause, closing your eyes, and in the stillness, you can hear the sea below more clearly, its steady hush folding into the cicada's rhythm, until the two become one. A lullaby from land and water, earth and sky sung only for you. You lower yourself onto a flat stone slab, smooth and wide, almost like a bed carved by time itself. You lean back until your body rests fully upon it, the stone, firm yet comforting, beneath you. As you settle, you feel the last remnants of tension leave your shoulders heavy, your legs releasing, your breath flowing slow and deep. You become aware of how completely you are held here, by stone, by air, by night. The ruins above blur in your mind's eye. They no longer feel like fragments of history, but like dream shapes, timeless and fluid. Columns shimmer in your imagination, whole and glowing, only to fade softly into starlight. The moon shifts across the sky, casting silver beams through the cracks, painting the walls in shifting patterns that move like water. It feels as though the ruins themselves are breathing with you, matching your inhale, your exhale, your quiet surrender. Images drift through your mind, simple, tender, like dream fragments rising on the tide of sleep. The owl's golden eyes watching from its column. The fisherman's lantern swaying across the waves. Fireflies drifting among ivy leaves. Olive branches swaying in the breeze. Each one appears and fades, weaving a tapestry of calm. None demand your attention. They arrive only to soothe, then dissolve into silence. You think briefly of home, perhaps of lying in bed on a quiet American evening, the hum of crickets outside the window, the faint scent of summer air drifting through an open screen. It feels the same here, halfway across the world, in the arms of ruins under a Grecian moon. Peace wears many forms, but always it finds its way to you. The connection warms you from within, as if the night itself is whispering, Wherever you are, you belong to rest. The cicadas hush almost completely now. Their song lingers like an echo, a memory still resonating through your chest. In its place comes a deeper silence, thick, serene, wrapping around you like water around a stone. You breathe into it. Inhale slow, exhale slower, until the silence itself feels alive, until it becomes part of you. The sea answers softly, its waves brushing against unseen rocks below. The sound is steady, unbroken, eternal. It is the voice of the night reminding you that rest is endless, that you can sink into it without fear. You let the rhythm carry you, rocking you gently like a child in a cradle of time. Above, a final meteor streaks across the sky, leaving a silver arc that seems to linger just for you. You watch it fade, your eyelids heavy, your mind soft. It feels like a closing benediction, a gentle bow from the heavens, telling you that the journey is nearly complete. The ruins grow hazy at the edges of your vision. Columns melt into stars, stars into sea, sea into breath. Everything becomes one. Your body is weightless now, drifting on the tide of night. The cicadas motif, the constant thread of this journey, is no longer sound. It is simply rhythm, the heartbeat of the earth itself carrying you to where dreams begin. And just before sleep fully claims you, you sense one last path, one last gentle unfolding. The ruins seem to open into the horizon, the stars lowering closer, the sea whispering softer. A promise of closure, of serenity, of peace that will stay with you long after the story ends. You let your breath fall into that promise, your eyes heavy, your body loose, ready to step gently into the final embrace of the night. The night has gathered you fully now, carrying you deeper into stillness than before. You remain on the stone slab, the ruins above, softened into silhouettes, their edges blurred by moonlight. The cicadas sing faintly in the distance, no longer insistent, only gentle, like the last notes of a lullaby fading into silence. Their motif has carried you all this way, and now it feels complete, woven into your breath, into your heartbeat, into the memory of this night. The sea hushes steadily below, its rhythm patient, eternal. You listen as each wave rises and falls, as if the ocean itself is breathing for you so that you do not need to try. You inhale softly, and the air is filled with salt and thyme, with stone and jasmine. You exhale even softer, and the weight of the day dissolves completely, leaving only calm. Above, the stars shimmer as though pleased with your stillness. The constellations you traced earlier, the hunter, the bear, the sisters now feel closer, more tender, as if leaning down to keep watch while you rest. The moon is high, bright, steady, its light falling across the ruins, across the sea, across you. It touches everything equally, reminding you that you are part of the same great whole. You allow your eyes to close, not with effort, but with ease. Behind your eyelids, the night continues, columns glowing faintly, olive trees swaying lanterns on the water, fireflies among ivy, meteors crossing sky. Each image drifts softly past you like dream fragments, like gifts offered in silence. They do not ask to be held, they ask only to be received, then released. And as you let them pass, you feel lighter still, your body sinking deeper into comfort, your mind floating closer to sleep. There is no need for words anymore. No need for thought, only presence, only peace. You are here resting among ruins that are not broken, but whole in their quiet dignity. You are here with the sea, steady, the stars eternal, the night endless in its kindness. You are here safe, sheltered, and deeply at rest. You take one more slow breath and another until each inhale feels like the gentlest tide rising, each exhale like the tide returning home. You are carried now, cradled by the